Kahala, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakwadash, Yahweh, being the true name of the Father, as the word ignorantly calls God, Yahweh Shai, being the true name of the Son, as the word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, along with the Holy Spirit, who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and to the brothers that's pushing this truth in sincerity, risking life and freedom to do so. And shalom to the brothers and sisters that are listening and learning. This is your brother Labah, coming to you with another lesson in truth. And this name of this lesson is going to be entitled, This is the Product of Christianity. This is the product of Christianity. So what I mean with this, I'm going to get into this video and you're going to see. But this Jake right here, a lot of Jakes getting the hell up out of here. They go into these other countries to seek out, wives and this and that, companionship. And I understand, I feel them. Because these American women, this Western, now this modern woman is gone. Most of them, let me say it like that. So Jake don't want to deal with the bullshit, right? But Jake could go to these other countries and deal with these other nation women. And a lot of times, these women serve idols, right? And they get Jake entrapped into doing idolatry as well, right? So, and let me say this too, right? In the kingdom, Israelite men will have other wives from other nations. So Jake ain't going off by doing that. But it's when, it leads to idolatry. And I'm going to get into some scriptures and get into this lesson. Let me get into this video first. But this is the product of the Christian church, because the Christian church, didn't give our people the truth, right? First off, they gave them lies, and the so-called pastors caused our people to wander into all this madness, all these different religions, all these different ideologies, all these different philosophies, because the Christian church taught them nothing but lies. They told you the law was done away with. They told you you can do whatever you want to do. All right. Jesus is going to forgive you. All right. So let me get into this video, but I'm going to read this title. It says, I prayed to Buddha in Chiang Mai, Thailand. All right. So Jake went to Thailand, got him a woman. Right. And I want you to watch this. And they go to show you what our people been doing, getting with these other women, right, of these other nations. Back in, as we was reading it in the scriptures. And also, because somebody might say that Jake going off, but the so-called black woman, Hispanic and Native American, most of them serve Jesus, which is Cesare Borgia. So that's an idol as well. So one can't say that. So let's get into this video. Now you see what it is. I said Jake went over there, and now he caught up into some kind of madness doing idolatry. All right. So let's get into this lesson. And they go to show you that our people into everything else besides the truth. And I say that often, and that we seeing it right here play out in real time. Let me go to this image I want to show you before I get into this lesson. I'm gonna break it down through a spiritual sense. So right here is a sheep that has wandered from the herd and the shepherd, right? And the shepherd that gives a damn, right, is gonna go looking for this sheep, right? Because once this sheep wanders from the herd, it's vulnerable to all kind of predators. Basically, this sheep is good as dead. In the spiritual sense, is what our people have done is they've wandered from the Most High. They've wandered from the truth. Right? They have wandered and went astray from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. and primarily because of this so-called Christian church has bugged them out, got them lost, got them living, just don't have no standard, man. Jake just going along with anything, right? Don't have no kind of spirit to resist wickedness, man. But right here, this sheep is good as dead. And when you live in, in idolatry and sin leads to death. The wages of sin. So the payment of sin is death. All right. So let me go here. And in Thailand, the biggest religion. Matter of fact, let me show you this real quick, because a lot of Jake's going there. It says Buddhism is the largest religion in Thailand, practiced by over 93% of the population. All right. So often, too, we seeing, when our men was dealing with other nations of the other women in other nations, these women we seen what these women was causing these Jake men to do back in the scriptures, causing them to do idolatry. All right, like Solomon got caught up. All right, but this is the first commandment, you know, and you go to show you that Jake is lost. Jake don't know who he is. Jake don't know what he doing. Jake don't have no kind of direction. But this is primarily because of the Christian church. The Christian church has failed our people because it's nothing but lies. Exodus chapter 20:2. It says, I'm the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, thy power. It's not God. It's not Yahweh. It's not Yahuwah. Right? It's not Elohim. And the Son, not Jesus. It ain't Christ. It ain't Yeshua. It ain't none of that. It's Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. That's the first thing you have to get correct. The names, and that's very important. Which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. So this was our ancestors, right? Coming out the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. 3, thou shalt have no other gods before me. I want you to pay attention to 5 when I get to it. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Pay attention to 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them. What did you see that Jake do? Bow down to that Buddha idol. All right, to go to show you, he don't know what's going on. He don't even know who he is. And that's most of our people. From one extreme to the next extreme to the next extreme. Thou should not bow thyself to them, nor serve them. For I am the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, for I am a jealous power. All right, to go to show you, the Lord ain't all love and good all the time. The Lord got emotions because he created us to have emotions. We was made in his image. And that's layers to that, but I'm trying to get you to understand, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children until the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me. All right, but going back into 5, Jake, and this, like I say, Jake is one extreme to the next. And, a lot of the tribes bow down to celebrate Borgia, especially the Latin tribes, so-called. They'll wear the rosary. They'll wear crosses around their neck. They'll go to and bow down before idols in the Catholic Church. All right, now people doing the same thing too with the Christian church, because they bow down before this white so-called Jesus idol. All right, but the Christian church has failed our people, man, and it's obvious that they're not teaching this Bible correctly. Jeremiah 14:10, thus said the Lord unto his people. Who is his people? The Israelites, and that will never change. It's not going to be other nations. He only did with Israel back then, and this new covenant going to be with Israel. Hebrews 8:8 and Jeremiah 31:31, if I'm not mistaken. It says, thus have they loved to wonder. Thus have they loved to wonder. I'm going to show you this real quick. This is a spiritual analogy that I'm making to you. This sheep has wandered away, but this is our representation of our people. They lost. They've wandered from the correct way. They've wandered from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But what caused them to wander is the Christian church, man, primarily. All right. Because there's no truth in the Christian church. But they'll tell you half truths. They don't know what's going on. They have not refrained their feet. Therefore, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah do not accept them. So when our people throw up prayers and say, pray for this, the Lord ain't hear none of that bullshit, man. You people crazy, man. He would now remember their iniquity. What he said, the first commandment, don't worship idols. That's iniquity, that's sin. And visit their sin. So that's why you see how people under these deep, deep curses. And they don't know why it's like this. I'm going to show you something right here. It says, thus have they loved to wonder. Check this out. It says, the Lord, and out of the way of their duty. So let me read this again. Thus have they loved to wander from the Lord and out of the way of their duty, which our first duty is not getting the bag. Our first duty is to worship Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Everything else will fall in suit. But our people have been given over to the so-called white man philosophy. The way he look at things, the way he consider what is so-called making it, or their first duty. It says to Egypt and Assyria for help, right? And after strange gods, and the worship of them, as you saw that Jake do, man. He bowed down to that idol, all right? And he was doing it for his woman, all right? He was seduced into idolatry. Let's go to this definition, wonder. It says wandering. It says traveling aimlessly from place to place, as I showed you in this analogy. All right, right here. This sheep is going to wander. All right, if the shepherd don't find it, it's going to wander to its death. It's going to wander to a predator, and the predator going to have his way with that sheep. That's what Jake is right now. Jake is wandering through this world, lost, not knowing who he is, not knowing what he's supposed to be doing. All right, this applies to the women as well. All right, it says wandering, traveling aimlessly, and Jake is wandering through this whole earth aimlessly with no purpose. Look at these ghettos and so on and so forth. The hood, right? And our people are spiritually dead. It says spiritual death. Spiritual death is when a person is alive physically, but dead spiritually. Let me go here. This heavy right here. They are in fact dead men walking. Man, it's heavy. To be spiritually dead means to be insensible to the things of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah and ignorant of spiritual realities. Like the Lord is alive and well, and he's a so-called black man, and the Messiah is a so-called black man, right? The chariots, the immortality that's coming, right? Jake don't know about all that. Jake is driven by the flesh. And I went to this word dead, because, spiritually dead, and I saw something profound. Give me 1 second. It says dead. I'm going to show you something. And it says lost. That's the word, that comes similar word. So spiritually being dead means lost. All right. And when you lost, you don't know who you is. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing, as I went into that analogy with that lost sheep. All right. And this is out the Messiah mouth, Matthew 15:24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that's a cut on that John 3:16 understanding for you Christians that you think you have. You don't know what that means. All right. I am not sent but or only unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that's what the Messiah, as you know, as Jesus came from the Israelites, all right, among the elect, because they was lost like this one. And Yahweh Shah is recovering all these lost sheep, right, through the preaching of this word. He's going to bring them back into the fold, right? And Yahweh Shah is known as the good shepherd, the ultimate shepherd. All right, we just playing our part to get our people back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, right, so they can find a resting place, which will be the fold of Yahweh Shah. All right, Call Allah, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Shalom.